Drive? Is it opening on a window that's?
Oh, there it is. Maybe that's.
There's only two there in this area, right? Two,
In this area, there's only the one.
Oh, really?
Mhm.
Well, I meant, well, there's Atlanta. Or that.
There used to be an actual Atlanta chapter and they decided not to continue with the 1 Million Cups name and they renamed themselves, the the Entrepreneurial Hour, I think is what they call themselves.
Same concept.
Okay, so this is, can you reclaim host from your end? Because I don't even have Zoom open for some weird reason. Or just- See how it says me? Oh, you're not, I'm not in you. Wait, what? How am I live?
You are though. I don't know.
Okay, we're live, but it's your face that I see. So you're, I don't know what I did, but you're good to go.
Okay. I just, for some reason, can't get the deck up or. Hold on 1 second.
Video for SWAS.
Give me an hour.
Yeah. we can. Oh, once we get- that's when we can get the-
Okay, so
Let's show our.
you know, I can't get that up
Oh.
for some
Can you
reason.
find that screen? Like,
No.
cursor-
Yeah.
Understand what, the grades in your head, or it's like, okay, we'll go and, we'll do some.
Pop up on the top. I saw something come on the screen and it's not.
Okay. But it's like, I tried opening it and it's not coming open. It'll just like. Which-
Just kind of generally makes your life better and and it's not a new tax, it's been a tax.
Just make sure I'm right. Yeah,
Right.
I'm not a legislator.
so weird.
I know, I know, when you said like more in real life, okay, well, we're on the bench. Anybody's gonna also do the recreation center.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's like,
Even, oh, I was gonna say even that window is, all
more information. The other way. Packet.
right, so the second, there, it's to the right. I thought there was a way to like collect windows. Oh, okay, so that's there. There you go.
Oh, thank you. Oh my gosh. Okay.
Okay. So it's either you vote and get approved, or then what are the response for that?
The cons are, it's. Oh, the good tax. 1%. Every transaction. Period. Like any retail.
Thank you.
Face count.
I did get your message, man, sorry.
If it gets approved, things stay the same right now. So
Okay, cool. Next order of business, I need to ask if everybody could take out their phones and scan the QR code. It's just gonna ask you for your email address. That just lets us know that you were here. It also adds you to our mailing list, which for the most part, we do send email out every week to let you know who the presenter is gonna be, just as a gentle reminder. Is there,
Yeah. I'll do it.
Can you turn
Can
on
you-
the lights?
I don't, is that,
Oh, shit, like, I don't know.
look on the other wall there, on the, I think it might be that one.
This is a test to see if you can.
Oh,
Nice.
Yay.
is that better for everyone? Natural light is kind of nice. Right.
Sweet. Hey. Okay, so then when I present, I'm gonna share my screen and then pull up.
First, you just, you're live now, so you'll just do your intro.
Right.
And then you'll
Oh,
have to start this and we'll have to figure out just how to get it onto that screen.
oh, we're live right now. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's all right. I can always trim.
Hello, everybody.
All right. Oh, we got one more. Looks like I still see some cameras up.
I don't know. I don't know. You can say. It looks great though.
Yeah, it does.
I've like had so much sugar the last few days. I don't know if I can
Yeah,
have
I
any
thought-
more, but
You know, I'm like, last night, I'm like, okay, the cookies I said, but I'm like, you know what? I'm supposed to have so much sweet and
Yeah.
chocolate. And then last night, I'm like, no, this is important for the box.
exactly. Maybe I'll put it in the fridge and have it tomorrow or something.
Yeah. Probably.
All right. All right, so where Amanda's gonna do her intro on Facebook and then we will be good to go. So here we go. Oh, sorry, one more thing. Amanda's birthday was yesterday.
Oh my gosh.
I got her a cake, but I didn't want to like touch it to put things in, but there's a little happy birthday.
Thank
But
you.
you guys will just join me in wishing what did I write online? The one who gets it done, DOO, because she's my director of operations. I don't know if anybody else picked up on that. You didn't either? Well, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday.
Birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Amanda. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you guys. I appreciate it.
Now she's lost for her video.
I love it.
What, having a hot bath?
Yeah. Okay, everybody. 1 Million Cups is a weekly event started by the Kauffman Foundation and is currently held in more than 130 communities across the nation with the goal of caffeinating entrepreneurs nationwide every Wednesday. And every Wednesday, those communities meet to give each other support, encouragement, and feedback over a cup of coffee. Our community meets here at Rome in the town of Chilliwack every Wednesday morning from 9 to 10, and one or two early age startups will present their companies to a diverse audience of their peers, mentors, educators, and advisors. Before we get things started, I want to acknowledge and thank our community sponsors, Rome for providing this beautiful space and having the flexibility to move us into this room, Jason Hunter Design for volunteering their time and resources to organize and promote this event, Edwin Jarvis for the high quality flyers that we were able to distribute around town. So thank you guys. Our presentation this morning is going to be from Nora Pullen from In the Kitchen with Nora. At the end of the presentation, they will be asked, what can we as a community do for you? Which will start the Q&A portion of the program. Okay, let me
So-
pull up your presentation and then you're good to go.
So try to, from her presentation, like pull that into a different tab, like just pull it down
Okay,
and then drag it to the right so it goes over to your other.
gotcha. I'm gonna minimize that.
Oh, yeah. Will it let you? I think you might have to go to Keynote and hit escape.
One moment, please.
Oh, yeah, that would work. Cool.
And then come back
Yeah, and
over
then
here,
just drag that over.
pull it over.
Wrong place to watch your thing.
Yeah.
The last seat in the theater. Yeah, yeah.
That'd be all you need to do. It's a thing. Share. Flip it for here.
All right, I think we're confirmed on Facebook. Your slides are shown.
Awesome.
Good.
Okay.
All right. You may be doing.
Good morning, everyone.
Good
morning. Nora Pullen with In the Kitchen with Nora. And today we're going to talk a little bit about healthy eating. Hope I won't bore everyone to tears with my speeches on gut health, but since he's keeping me to 6 to 12 minutes, notice the double window. I'll do my best to keep it tight. So a little bit about me. I didn't know if you had a clicker or if I want me.
No, we don't, but
Well, that's not-
can't tell where the cursor is. Yeah, flip it around so you can get the click. That's good.
Sorry.
I think all you have to do is tap on that and then the arrow should make it go.
There we go.
Is that good?
There we go.
Good?
Okay.
Just string it. Oh, one, 2.
Where is it? How do I go back?
Arrow key.
There we go.
Okay.
So a little bit about me. I'm originally from Romania. I learned how to cook with my mom and my grandmothers. And we learned how to cook when Romania was still communist. What that meant was that you barely could find any food in the stores. So you either grew it or you made friends with other people who grew it. And as a result, the quality of the ingredients used was pretty high because it was all homegrown or from small farm. I moved to the States when I was 15 years old, and I was a sophomore in high school. And two things that I had to do. One was help my dad cook, and two was learn how to tutor my fellow classmates in math. That's the other half there. So once I got out of college, I studied archaeology, realized I wasn't about to make any money with that, so I had to support myself, and I started working in some kitchens. And as a result, gained some experience in various restaurants, and had a catering business at one point when I lived in Denver. And I moved to California after, ended up in working, running an energy efficiency company, got away from the food for a while, at least as far as doing it as a business. But my husband and I are into fitness, are into wellness, are into eating healthy. So we always cook together. I would do the veggies usually, he would make the meat. And on the weekends, I would get to explore in the kitchen. I was also the friend that all my friends would ask to bring something anytime they had a party. So once the pandemic hit and we made the decision to move to Georgia, we definitely wanted to have land, to have a garden. It was important for us to make connections with local farmers and gardeners. Had two of the first ones here, Lori and Kay. Thank you.
Nice.
And started cooking. And started cooking healthy because. So what is healthy eating in my book, right? My definition, eating a broad spectrum of whole, nutritionally dense foods, staying away from processed foods and seed oils, so we can feel good, not have any brain fog, not suffer from diminish our chances of suffering from anxiety and depression, have a healthy gut, and basically feel good on a regular basis. So some really depressing US health statistics shared by the CDC. So the obesity rate in the United States keeps going up. Latest data, I know it's only through 2020, but those are the latest numbers available. And it's inching up to 42%. That's depressing news because, as you guys can see in the image associated right next to it, there are many cancers. Our incidence of having a cancer due to obesity increases significantly. So not only that, but the cost of treating the various illnesses caused by obesity has skyrocketed, and on average, a person that's overweight will be spending about almost $2,000 more for healthcare than somebody who is over healthy weight. So here in Georgia, we all know that that's an issue. We don't necessarily have as many sources for healthy, readily accessible food. It oftentimes requires us cooking it rather than doing takeout in order to really eat healthy. And if we can go to the next slide, please. So studies show that eating processed foods significantly damages our health. We will have gut-related issues, higher incidence of anxiety and depression, higher incidences of cancer, hormone imbalance that can significantly affect us and the way we age. We can go to the next one. So, with that in mind, for most of us that wonder, well, what is healthy? What should we eat? A well-balanced meal contains protein from a good source, healthy fats, and fiber, which mostly means vegetables, fruits as well, and some nuts. And we can go to the next one, please. Okay. So I'm asked all the time, how much protein should I have? Well, based upon the surveys, I always do a survey with my clients to find out what do they eat. what vegetables, what protein, what quantities, what are they trying to achieve by changing their diet? And I see consistently insufficient protein being eaten. What's the benefit of eating protein? And I will pause for a quick second to say that not all protein is created equal. I'll delve into that a little bit later. But in general, we should be eating about 0.7 to 1 gram per lean body mass. What that means in plain language is try to have about a third of your plate eat protein. You will prevent weight gain. You will actually lose weight. They have studies showing that women that increase their protein intake consumed fewer calories overall, and over 12 weeks dropped 11 pounds. And from our, I know a lot of you watched Coach Q's presentation about fitness. Like we can attest to that, and a lot of our clients have undergone that transformation by adopting a physical training program and eating healthier. So the next one. Gut health. That's sort of a buzzword these days, but the more we're learning, the more we're realizing how essential gut health is. And they're actually talking about the gut microbiome. And if I say microbiome, that's one of my slips. But the gut microbiome is basically another organ, right? We have a galaxy of or we should have a galaxy. And the more diverse and better populated your galaxy is, the healthier you are. A couple of ways you can improve your gut health. Eat 30 plants per week. And I know when I say this, everybody is really quiet. So with that said, 30 plants may seem daunting when you say it like that, but it includes fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, herbs, and spices. So the more diverse the spices and the herbs that you throw in your food, the better off you are actually, not just from a flavor standpoint, but from a health standpoint. Everybody has heard that eat the rainbow, and I don't mean the Skittles one. But different vegetables, for example, a yellow pepper and a red pepper will have different polyphenols. So eating the rainbow, actually, you are accessing more nutrients at a broader spectrum of them, right? Eat fermented foods daily. Examples of fermented foods: kefir, yogurt, pickles that are actually fermented, kimchi, sauerkraut, miso. Even if it's a small amount, is significantly, or a small amount consistently significantly improves our gut. It helps feed all those microbes. Give your gut a rest. And I mean by that is try not to eat for 12 to 14 hours. The easiest thing to do is not to eat past a certain point and not to eat immediately when you wake up. So you allow your gut a 12 to 14-hour break. This also allows for better motility, right? So less chances of constipation as a result, right? And reduce consumption of ultra processed foods. Pretty much, if you can stay away from them as much as possible, you will notice a significant improvement. So, quick example, I make what I call these power salads, right? And as you can see in those have a lot of carbohydrates and a lot of different ingredients. And we eat like this on a regular basis. It is actually my mission on a daily basis to try to put something different than the day before on our plates. As a matter of fact, something different from breakfast to lunch and dinner. And doing that, first of all, it keeps healthy food from being boring. It expands your eating vocabulary. It forces you to look up new recipes and learn new skills. And it really helps to make you feel better and look better for that matter too. We can go to the next one, please. So, some of the services that I offer in order for us to help others learn how to do this. I offer cooking classes from small to large group, individual, Kids and teens, I love to work with kids because if they're learning how to cook at an early age, you're setting them up for success for the rest of their lives, right? You know what healthy eating looks like. You know how to make healthy food. You're not dependent on others. And no matter where you are in the world, you'll be able to feed yourself well. Part of the cooking classes, I take you shopping. We'll learn your local grocery stores. I'll teach you how to read labels, stay away from poison. The fewer ingredients, the better. It's usually the rule of thumb. You don't recognize the word, probably not something you want to eat. And how to meal prep. That way, people say, but I don't have time to cook like that. That's okay. You don't have to have hours each day in order to be able to eat healthy. You just need to be strategic and plan a little bit ahead. I do meal consulting and planning, so I have clients in California with whom I consult. I put a meal plan together for them. I source recipes, help them stay on track even though they're far away. And I love to play in the kitchen, recipe development. My forte is taking a complicated recipe and stripping it down to where it's much quicker to cook. You're still paying homage to the original dish, but you don't need to be buying a whole bunch of extra ingredients that end up sitting in your pantry that you never use again. And then I also do some custom meal prep for, I only take so many clients at a time. So the next one, please. So some of the things that we learned together is why is quality so important? How to stock your pantry. Some of the essentials you need to have in your kitchen. And no, I don't have every tool I could possibly have. I have the tools that I truly need. And then on my wish list, I have some fancier ones. How to shop smart, how to be strategic, because price is oftentimes cited as an obstacle to eating healthy. I can afford to eat healthy. I've done the math. If you're eating Chick-fil-A and Panera, you're not going to be spending any more to actually eat farm fresh, garden fresh, organic, healthy. It just requires being smart about how you shop, knowing which stores carry what, and then maximizing the usage of those ingredients. Because most of the time what ends up happening is we get determined to make one good meal, right? I'm going to eat healthy tonight. We make it. Then we park the rest of the ingredients that are left over for making that meal in the fridge. And then by the time we think about making another meal with them, they've got more meat or rotten in our fridge. So part of what I teach is how you can make a variety of dishes throughout the week that maximize the usage of all the ingredients you bought. Nothing goes to waste. And if something's about to go to waste, you can bring it over to my house. I'll give it to the goats. So how to create good flavor, we'll teach that. And then I really want to change your relationship with food and go from something that's oftentimes adversarial, right? We have a lot of fear, a lot of hang-ups associated with food. I want you to think of food as a friend, as a way to show yourself love and respect for your body. And I want you to have fun. I'm not a very good dancer. My husband would probably blackmail me for the rest of my life just with bad videos of me dancing in my kitchen. And I also don't promise that I always listen to good taste music. So have fun in the kitchen. Have fun with your family in the kitchen. These are mostly some of what I just covered, but why is quality important? Okay. Tim Spector, who I'll do some book recommendations at the very end, but Tim Spector talks a lot about the gut health. And they've done studies with twins. And you'll have the two same twins. And once you control even for activity level, right? These are identical twins, not fraternal twins. What's the biggest predictor of weight gain versus maintaining a healthy weight is the diversity of what someone ate, specifically the plant diversity. And no, it didn't mean that vegans had better gut health. than meat eaters. It didn't mean that those that stayed away from dairy had better gut health. It didn't mean that if you were a vegetarian, you actually had better gut health. Better gut health was determined by how many whole processed, because a lot of vegetarians eat a lot of processed food, how many whole foods you ate and how broad the diversity was. And that was the biggest predictor of whether a twin gained weight or was able to maintain a leaner weight.
That's fascinating.
Yeah.
And the quality of your ingredients differs hugely on how they impact your body, right? Whether something is shot full of hormones, antibiotics, whether it was a pasture-raised chicken. If you've ever tasted a pasture-raised chicken and then you go to a fast food and you get a chicken breast, they're not the same thing. They're not the same bird.
That's the thing of that $5 Sam's Club special.
Ugh. For $2.99 at Kroger. Ugh.
Traveling cross country from California, taking the 10, which takes you through the pit of despair of Western Canada.
I'm gonna say Texas, maybe tumbleweeds.
It's a desert of healthy food. You literally cannot find healthy food. And that's alarming considering we know how many people live like that on a regular
Heat lamp
basis.
pizza.
It would actually be a plus compared to some of.
Oh, snap. Corn dogs.
So quality matters hugely. And around here, it's one of the things that I love about Georgia and about my weekend is that I can go to another farms and be like, hey, what's good in your garden right now? Lori hooks me up with Armenian cucumbers and other amazing vegetables that I've never gotten to eat before. It's actually here in the South. And some amazing eggs, because you guys know the difference of a pasture raised egg versus a commercial egg. They're not even the same color group. Not to mention how much more nutrient dense. And no, the cholesterol in eggs is not bad for you if it comes from good eggs. So quality is essential. We can go to the next one. Stock your pantry with your essentials. So when I talk about stock your pantry, always have certain things in that you're able to make a healthy meal readily, right? And when it comes to that, I said having some beans, some lentils, some eggs, a little bit of wild or black rice that's higher in protein and fiber, right? All of a sudden you have a couple of things, a couple of frozen veggies even. And you can make a healthy meal. So stocking the pantry right, it doesn't have to be that you spend hundreds of dollars at a time. Every time I have a habit, every time I go to a grocery store or a market, I always produce 2 aisles. The olive oil, the condiments aisle, and the olive oils and vinegar aisle, right? The oil and vinegar aisle, because you're always going to find a special on something. And that's the time to snatch it, even if you don't need it. That way you're only buying a couple of things at a time. And I know then that I'm well stocked and I have all the things that I need. A quick mention on oils, because I brought up healthy fats. Oils that you have, fats that you can cook with extra virgin olive oil, avocado oil, coconut oil, ghee, pasture-raised butter, lard, if it's fresh lard from a good non-hormone antibiotic injected thing.
So not the crystal.
Not grapeseed oil,
Can't believe it's
not
not butter.
peanut oil, not sunflower oil, not canola.
Canola.
No. If you're gonna use any of those oils, limit their usage. Have it be 10-15% of the time, not the majority of the time. Right, special occasions are special occasions. Sometimes you want to indulge in something, make that the minority of the time. And also when it comes to flavor oils like sesame oil, if you add them at the very end of a dish, you're not actually heating that oil. That makes a big difference too, in how toxic it is or it isn't for your body. So that's a quick note on oils. We can go, yes.
What about alcohol?
No.
Tell us your opinions on alcohol. You're like, no oils, and I'm like, no booze.
No, good oils. I'm a big advocate of eating your fats. Good fats. in the kitchen, right? Nothing more annoying than going into your kitchen and wanting to chop a whole bunch of vegetables, and I chop a lot of vegetables. And you're only have really bad nights. So it's frustrating. It makes your life more miserable. You're sitting there chopping your finger off. Invest in a good set of knives. Get a couple of things. These things, if you plan for them, they're not particularly expensive and will make a huge difference at how efficient you are in the kitchen and how much you're enjoying the process. And yeah, there's a crock pot at the bottom. The crock pot is an amazing thing for making soups and other things while you sleep. Look, you're not even cooking, it's cooking. We've covered a lot of this, so we can skip this one. So meal prep. It's important to be strategic. If I'm going to be making a soup and I'm going to be chopping all these veggies, and I know that later on I'll be making a salad, and then the next day after that, I'll probably saute some vegetables. To take that opportunity, you're already in the mood, re-chop some things, right? And recruit help. I'm bad about this. Harley, who's been staying with us, will attest to this. She's like, do you need any help? And I'm literally having smoke coming out of my ears. I'm like, no, I'm fine. Please don't be like me. At least not in this respect. Accept help. Everybody can help in the kitchen. My brother was 7 years old and making breakfast for the whole family. We have friends whose 4-year-olds have already do certain things. Everybody can wash or dry something. And yes, when you're cooking, please recruit somebody else to do the dishes for you. So if we can go to the next one. So creating good flavor, we don't eat just with our mouth. Okay, we eat with our eyes, we eat with all of our senses, with our ears. Tell me that you do not love the sound of a nice steak being flipped over in a pan. That's that crackle, the scent that comes anytime we have a pellet grill, and anytime I turn it on, even before there's anything on it, I'm like, I'm already hungry as a dog. But and presentation matters. Even when I lived by myself and I was just cooking for myself, not anybody else, nobody was going to take a picture, so before social media on my food. Now that I take pictures, yes, I better about it. But I still like to have a nice presentation. It's honoring ourselves, right? My definition of self-love is not getting a pedicure, although that's nice. It is feeding myself well on a regular basis, because that's going to make an actual dramatic difference to how I perform in life. So take the time to honor yourself, put a nice plate together, have that color on your plate. It's doing things it's making the food actually more flavorful. There's a reason why a lot of us respond to those fast food commercials. The food looks amazing in the commercial. Forget about what's doing to your gut, but it looks amazing in the commercials. What do we want to do? Go do a drive-through, right? So do the same for yourself. Present it beautifully, your family, and you are going to enjoy it more. Next slide, please. So back to the BPO lesson experiment. I have a lot of people like, well, but I don't have a lot of experience in the kitchen. Here's the thing, especially when you develop recipes, sometimes you have fails. You can tell you about some of my fails. As a matter of fact, the other night he was like, this is missing something. And it was missing a little bit of extra acid, vinegar or lemon, right? So it's okay if it doesn't turn out perfect. Because it's edible. And here's the thing, I'm afraid to try this. What if I don't like it? What's the worst that happens? You do watch the top of it, and just spit it out. Preferably not on the floor. But we have these hangouts. It's like, oh, I can't eat this. What if I don't like it? We're not talking bad food. We're not talking something that's expired. We're not talking, I don't know, the shady gas station corn dog. We're talking quality ingredients that you put together that perhaps you didn't salt enough. Right? So lose that fear of making a mistake in the kitchen. Every mistake you make in life and in the kitchen is a lesson. Take the lesson. And if it's edible, eat it. If not, I don't know, scramble some eggs. And still have a healthy meal for the day. So, and also when you're cooking, for me, especially when I worked a lot of office hours and I was behind the desk on a computer all day long. Did I really, on one hand, did I really want to cook? Yes and no. What I found is that the process of preparing that meal forced me to be present. And in many ways, cooking can be a meditative experience and an opportunity to catch up with your significant other. Because there's a reason why whenever we travel, right, what's the best, how are you most welcomed into a home? Being given food, and be prepared if you go to Romania, everybody's gonna try to feed you. But you cannot enter a household without tasting something. And yes, they're probably speaking about alcohol, they'll try to get you drunk. So, last, not least, these are some of the books that I found to be incredibly helpful. I listen to a lot of podcasts, I do a lot of reading. I'm endlessly fascinated by food and the way it interacts with our chemistry and what big difference we can make to the quality of our lives by eating better. So these are some that I highly recommend and encourage you to give a listen to, even if you just kind of flip through some of the pages or you start following some of these people on Instagram and watch some of their content. It will open your eyes to how the system now in this country is broken and how you as an individual can make a big impact on your friends and your family by switching the way you eat to a healthier. And that's it.
Excellent.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Amazing.
How many times did I say what not?
Yeah, I had to stop
6
looking at the
minutes.
time, but I do look at the faces in the room and I could tell the people are engaged, so I wasn't gonna
You weren't looking.
give you the hook or anything.
You weren't looking back here.
No, honestly, 6 minutes is the 1 million cup standard. I think it really does help if you're trying to present your business for the first time. Think about that whole elevator pitch. Well, is it an elevator going from floor 1 to 2, or is it an elevator going from floor 1 to 52? Right? I'd say we were on the long haul today, but to Singapore and back. It was fantastic. Sitting here eating my Pop-Tart, which is gluten-free and dairy-free, and I'm feeling good about it, but there's a ton of sugar in it, so I don't feel that good anymore. No, just to keep us on track, I do need to ask, what can we as a community do for you? And then I do have thoughts and questions of my own, which I'm sure other people do too. So what would you like from us?
I would like more opportunities to help teach people how to do this.
So-
Refer me, have me over, let's go on a shopping trip together, let's go to the farmer's market together. And I would love for those of you that are in the education system, the opportunity to work in schools and do this at least once a month.
Great
Because
ask.
I firmly believe it makes a huge difference in a person's life if you learn how to eat and cook healthy at an early age.
That's a great ask. That's a
Yeah.
great ask.
That's great.
Okay, so I'm on the social committee of my homeowners association, and we have planned for this year a cooking class, but I have yet to look for the chef. I think I've just found her. Where would we, but how would we do that? Like, do I just have to get a host house and you would just utilize their kitchen to educate? Is it like, I'm asking these questions publicly because I'm hoping that other people might want to do the same thing, but we can certainly talk in more detail about it. But, if there was 20 to 30 people, would they be, this is like somebody's home or yours, maybe we all come, I don't know the situation.
So for a group that big, if there is somebody in the complex that is willing to host, great. I've done it at these centers and entertainment centers as well. Some of them will have HOAs, will have
Like a community,
Yes.
yeah, like a pool house kind of thing.
occupancy kitchen.
Yeah, ours doesn't, but
If not, there's also spaces that we can rent if it's a bigger group and we
Okay.
can do it that way.
Okay.
So Lori had actually turned me on to a pancake too, to some spaces that specifically are geared towards that.
Oh, wow.
So far, I've done it at clubhouses, I've done it at people's homes, and I've done it in my own.
Okay, great. So we can definitely make that work.
Yes.
Awesome.
You had a question?
I actually had a suggestion for your HOA, so, back that one. And, the Fayette County Library does have a kitchen
Really?
that is connected to that meeting space where so all you have to do is have a nonprofit $50 deposit. And you guys could utilize that space. They have all the tables and chairs. There's a whole roll-up door that goes up, so you would be like on the kitchen side and your whole little, get up while everyone else will be on the other side. You can give that direction from there if you wanted to, but that's a space that's available for those who don't have a space to be able to.
I took,
This is
actually,
why I love you.
I took Nora on a tour of the
Yes.
wellness center right next door behind us, and they have a kitchen in there as well, and it's set up with like the cameras over the stove, so like people can watch what she's doing on the TV. I just didn't know if I wanted to ask my community to all come over here for that or go anywhere else. So it's really, for me, good to know that you would do it at a clubhouse or in a home. But for those who are looking for that type of kitchen, they do have that there as well.
And one of the reasons, and I'll come right back to it because I've noticed, one of the reasons why I actually like cooking in people's homes is because then we're cooking with the tools you have.
That's true.
And we can look through your pantry together, pull a whole bunch of stuff out, or donate it, better said. And we can, right, and you actually get to use the tools you have to make good food. You don't have to feel like, well, I don't have this, I don't have that. And I have not forgotten the alcohol question. I'll come back to it in a second. So, go ahead.
I stopped drinking.
Yes.
1, 2.
Were you first?
No, it doesn't matter.
Oh, wait, first. Okay, who's
so-
first?
This is weird, but what if your pantry looks like that? And what if you buy all the vegetables and they go back because you hate fixing anything in the kitchen? So, I mean, even and some people like me, I mean, I know how to eat well. I buy the things to eat well. And I eat the rainbow of food, but I just hate the kitchen. Anybody else hate the kitchen? Anybody else hate the kitchen? So, so I will not fall in this category at all. And my problem is I know how to eat, but I won't do it because I don't want to go in the kitchen and spend that time. I'd rather do other things. It's bad. It's not good for my health, as you said. So I'm down there with preparation. I'll write a check.
And that's what you see very slow. Meal prep, right? I do meal prep.
Because I have no problem with eating well. It's just that sometimes I throw out like hundreds of dollars of food that just goes bad. I buy all these vegetables in my refrigerator, trash, because I don't get to them. I have all, extra virgin olive oil, all kinds of, I have the teas, assortment of teas too, miso, everything on there and more in my pantry. And it's
Just don't
just
have the action.
years in my pantry, So there's, I was just wondering if anyone else is in here. That was like
Everybody buys that bag of salad and it turns into liquid.
Yeah.
food. Everybody has one of those in their fridge, like in carrots, right? A bag of little carrots. You're like, oh, I'm gonna eat those. No, I'm not gonna eat that.
Would you be willing to spend, first of all, yes, meal prep. And also, depending on what area that you live, finding out which restaurants are safe to eat at and which particular dishes would be the best ones to select out of those restaurants. I've done that.
Peachtree City used to have this place that, because I'm a retired Army officer, so I never really, I spent all my time just doing crazy things. So when I used to go to this place in Peachtree City about 15 years ago, you could go there and you could make the salads, you prep your own meals, someone cut them up for you and you could, do you remember that? A long time ago in Peachtree City, this place, it closed down. You go and prep your meals, you get the fresh, you get the chicken, and they do all the seasonings and everything, and you put it together, you put it in your freezer when you finish. And it was a whole big thing back then, maybe 15 years ago, but now, meal prep for me That's what I need, because I don't even like my own cooking, just to be honest with you.
Interesting that Roger left the room.
She would suggest he cooks.
Well, it's a good thing this is not my presentation, but we can have a different conversation.
And yes, maybe I'll introduce you to Coach Cute, my husband, who then can help change your mindset.
I want to piggyback off of that. Sorry, Jay, real quick, but for more years than I can count, we've been subscribers to either Home Chef, HelloFresh, any of those boxes that deliver fresh food to your doorstep with the exact amount of ingredients, so I don't have to throw anything away. Because like you, it drives me insane to throw away food. And I'm talking about like the 99-cent bushel of cilantro.
Right.
If I don't use it all, it drives me crazy that I have to throw it away. Now you start talking about the really expensive stuff and that like just makes my head explode.
I have a question. So with these classes, would you teach people how to properly store these veggies so that they can last longer?
That's part of it. Yes.
Because I know for me, the cilantro is just like in there. It doesn't liquefy at my house because we eat it all the time. However, it could potentially liquefy. But I definitely spent a little bit of time this summer, not much, learning how to properly store my produce so it doesn't spoil as quickly. Fortunately, I have a lot of hungry kids, so.
Goes
don't have
fast,
it
yeah.
often.
That's not something.
Um,
But I
yeah,
feel like
storing-
what I want people to understand, because I know a little bit more, is that meal prep comes in two ways for Nora. She's trying to get away from the actual preparing of meals to like give to you, but get more into let you tell me what you want to eat. I will give you a grocery list. You will go shopping for those things, and then you will have everything that you need to make meals for the rest of the week. So I think a lot of it for me, like I love that meditative cooking. I love it. I come home from here where I work, I go home in the 15-minute drive, and then I go right to the counter and I start cooking, and it's my way of just decompressing. If Peyton wants to help, that's a way for us to bond. It's great. But the idea of thinking about what we're going to make and having to shop for those things, knowing that half of it's going to get thrown away, that I just don't enjoy that. And it kills the whole experience.
Yeah.
So maybe something like that would be the solution.
Especially for most of us that work long days. By the time dinner rolls around, we have decision fatigue.
Yeah.
You have everything, don't even know where to start, like, I don't feel like doing anything, I just wanna eat something and potato.
Yes.
So part of it is learning when you are in that headspace, when you can make readily and have the easy stuff that takes less than 10 minutes to put a meal together, and that is possible. I wanted to, Jason, I think,
Oh, yeah.
you've been very patient, so I wanted to bring the
I just wanted to know if you had like, a cookbook or anything that you created or.
Awesome.
Great.
You,
How about that? Ask it louder, ask it again.
if you.
each time somebody's been nagging me to get on it.
You got sack them right there.
Exactly.
And,
I thought-
maybe if not a cookbook, maybe also a food guide, so we can, like you said, some foods like help with anxiety, some help with gut health. Is there like a guide that you have where we can go and be like, I'm gonna eat this for this?
I shared a lot of my recipes on Instagram, In the Kitchen with Nora, and in the process of having all of that on my website. Working on that. Actually, Jason's been kind enough to help me get my website up to par. And I do plan on having a cookbook. Maybe for now, a calendar with recipes.
That's a good idea. Just start.
Yeah, that's another good thing, a YouTube channel, you could definitely be really good on that. And also for people that's not as good as cooks as me and you, you have like recipes for like air fryers and George formers and stuff like that?
There are a lot of things that I make are actually not hard to execute. You can make them in crock pots, you can make them in an iron skillet, you don't have a grill. I always adapt. If you needed something and you don't have something, you text me, I'll give you an alternative. That goes for ingredients you're allergic to or loathe. And a quick note on loathing things. I used to think that I loathed okra. Because my first introduction to okra was slightly okra. And I'm not in the mood for mucus, sorry. So I really I was like, I love all vegetables except okra. And then I met Lori and she had these beautiful flowers in her garden. I'm like, what are those? There's some of the okra flowers.
Yes. Would you be up for doing something like with young teenagers, like a party and where they cook and they sit down to dinner and enjoy that?
Very much so.
And adults.
But I found that kids really enjoy gaining that independence and being able to make a good meal for themselves. And
And would you go shopping with them too?
yes, of course.
Awesome.
Of course.
So that have fun, yeah.
I have two things. I heard
One alcohol.
I'm asking the alcohol question for everyone else. I've seen everybody thinking it. They're like, yeah, what about my vodka tonic after work? Like, or my Lucy or not me. I can't, January 1st, the last time that I really drank. I can't do it. It's making me sick. Like, it legitimately making me sick now. One beer and I'm like, but I do a lot of meal prep on my own. Trying to do the bodybuilding thing. So, but what I found, you said a thing, you said, diversity. So in my meal prep, my diversity is dog shit. Like, it's broccoli, rice, chicken, broccoli, rice, hamburger, broccoli, because I gotta eat so much. I have to eat like 200 grams of protein in a day.
Yes.
That's 5 chicken breasts. And it's just yuck. I don't like it. Like, it sucks. And the issue that I have is like figuring out, like, you're making all these beautiful salads. You know how long it takes me to eat all that shit in one day? Like, I gotta eat like a bucket of that stuff to hit the macros. So I need to make it more calorically dense and then I need to diversify it. And I just don't have that system in my head. And I heard an analogy the other day that really fits really well with what you're doing. What you're offering sounds to me. You know, when people go on your roof, especially if you have like a 3-story roof, you know, those people with super tall houses. There's a gap between the ground and the roof. And then you put a ladder on it and it takes this giant gap into digestible steps, right? So now you can actually get to that thing. So what you're offering is like this set of tools that actually get to where you want to go. Because you're talking about, like, I have all the stuff. But it's like you're missing part of the ladder.
Yeah, the enjoyment.
Yeah, you're missing part of the ladder, but she's offering that space in the ladder. And for everybody in the room that's not, you know, doing meal prep, like I'm missing part of the ladder because my meal prep is boring and it's not diverse. I know it's not diverse because I don't want to eat it. I'm suffering through eating it. It's not fun to eat.
Now
I'm just stuffing food in me. I'm like one of those foie gras boozes.
So.
It's disgusting. It's disgusting. It's not.
speak to that.
I can talk because that mode of thinking for bodybuilding is so 1967.
I know. Like even my bro split is built around that. Like it
Yeah.
sucks. I know it's garbage,
Yeah.
but I haven't been updated. Like I read Arnold's book, I did all that
Right,
stuff.
right.
But like the ladder thing really goes into what you're talking about so well. And the way that I'm watching your presentation and I'm like, so there's an education portion. Here's all of the nutrients that you need. Here's your macros for you individually. Here's, you know, different days. Homie over here, he's like, eating for my gut health, eating for, you know, other stuff, like eating for, as a pregnant female, or, you know, there's lots of different ways you could eat to maximize.
Pause.
Yeah, there's so many different ways that you could look at food rather than looking at this terrible bucket of crap I gotta eat every day, you know, like.
Yeah.
But when I started dating him, that's how he used to eat.
See, so I'm looking at you and I'm like, I know you have something valuable to offer me, like
Yeah. I don't know what she's talking about.
more white rice, like,
No white rice.
I know, sorry.
Black rice, wild rice, higher in protein, higher in fiber, more nutrient dense, and it actually tastes better too.
That's visually appealing.
Yes.
You guys, I just want to make you all aware that it is 10 o'clock. I don't know what time we're allowed to stay in this room until they didn't tell me. But I would like for you to feel comfortable hanging around until they come in and break us out of here. But please keep asking questions, stay and network.
Just kind of question, I'm a kind of gardener, but I don't have a lot of space, so I do a lot of the lucky garden, but I find that if you just garden with the things that are typically operated or whatever, you end up with a bunch of stuff and you don't really know. Do you incorporate the art of gardening and growing certain things at certain times so that you can incorporate that into the?
Yes, because I have people who know more about gardening. than I do. And I'm learning from them specifically for that. We have our own garden for learning. We're trying to grow more things this year, more adventurous too, but yes, that plays a huge part in it, and always have herbs.
And one last question, how would a college student change, they're eating from the dining halls for the most part, but is there any, any type of direction and insight you can give them for eating healthier on campus?
So even, yes, the choices that you make out of that food line, and all I would need is a video or a quick list, and I can make recommendations for them. But I was the kid had no money in college either, and the food court was terrible. So I was eating ramen, but I was trying out the non-MSG one, and then I would add frozen veggies. So there's always ways, an egg, for example, right? There are always ways to take something that's not particularly nutritionally dense and spruce it up, so you're getting more nutrients, more fiber, more protein.
Yeah.
So yes, there's ways. Is it ideal all the time? No, but it's not about being 100% all the time. It's about minimum 80%. And if you can eat healthy 80% of the time, you will see a significant improvement in your health.
The least bad decision.
I actually taught, I was in Romania about 20 years ago, but I taught English there. It was really great.
Where were you?
Aradia.
Aradia. It's a nice time.
If you had, so one of the things that was one of some things that Josh touched on and we did. I eat very healthy, but the diversity is lacking. So I've just got a question that might be beneficial to the group, but what are some breakfast foods or ideas that the common person doesn't necessarily think about?
So I don't know how many of you actually eat eggs on a regular basis. May I have a show of hands?
Well,
I used
Why did you say that?
Oh, good. Oh, my gosh.
Good thing the prices have down.
I did it.
Okay. And were you eating egg whites or were you eating legs? Okay. Interesting. How many eggs were you eating that you got?
I got 3 a day for years.
So I eat a fair amount of eggs, but the Romanians and the Japanese and many other cultures don't think of breakfast foods. Breakfast is the food you break your fast with.
Yes.
If you want to have sushi for breakfast, that's okay. If you want to have a nice soup for breakfast, that's okay. If you want to eat the leftovers from dinner, that's okay. All of that is breakfast food, is whatever you're breaking your fast with. It doesn't have to be pancakes and waffles and eggs and bacon. It doesn't have to be that. That's actually a marketing ploy.
What's some of your favorites?
Some of my favorites for breakfast, I make my favorite breakfast meal is I'll make a salad. And sometimes I'll even incorporate some leftover roasted vegetables from the previous night. So fresh greens, roasted vegetables. I am a cheeseaholic. I'm European, so I do have cheese in my salads. And then I top it with 2 eggs.
And at what time is that?
Depends. Sometimes my breakfast is not till 1 o'clock.
Exactly. So she's fasting.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
I do
Okay, like,
intermittent
She just
fasting.
said it, it's like 12 or 14 hours.
You do what? Intermittent fasting?
So breakfast,
Well, I don't eat
Yeah.
for 12 to 14 hours.
12 to
Yeah,
14 hours.
Where did you find that?
Intermittent fasting.
Intermittent fasting, yes.
Yeah, what do you think about that?
Intermittent fasting can be very helpful in losing weight. The key is to go in and out of it and to vary your windows. Because if you do the same window when you're eating consistently for a long period of time, your body adjusts to it and no longer responds. So you do need to, same thing with diversity in meals. And same way that you're not going to train with 5-pound weights for forever, right? Because you're not going to get a response. You need to increase the weight. You need to vary it.
That's good.
And a lot of people, what end up doing, they end up staying with the same program and then they stop seeing the results and they're like, well, it doesn't work. It's not use it all the time and vary it. And that way you'll get better results.
So in other words, you wake up, you have your cup of coffee, and then you wait until you don't have anything until like 10:30, 12. If you feel hungry, you'll have something, but then you wait until later.
When you feel hungry,
Breakfast.
hungry is.
That's crazy talking to me. Two, yes, for
When you are hungry, your body is looking for fuel. If you're hungry and you have body fat, what do you think is gonna go for first?
Fat, for the
You know?
fat.
So the reason that you do intermittent fasting is so that you can actually get your body to start using fat as energy versus always having to feed yourself something, right? Because every time we're feeding ourselves something, it's going through a process of having to store it and use it as energy. So if we're snacking all day long, and if I was doing this with her, one of the biggest misconceptions with the diet industry is you can have 3 sensible meals and a few snacks a day. So it teaches everybody to snack. So even when I'm bored, I'm sitting at my computer, I'm just constantly snacking and I'm not hungry. And so I'm never hungry because I'm always snacking.
Yeah.
You want a minimum 3 to 4 hours in between meals, not eating. It will really help your tummy at both ends.
Quick question. I know you said that you would do like classes, right? for groups. Would you do something where like meal prep for a week or a week?
Yes.
For people that hate that, like.
And I don't do just group classes, I do individual too.
That way we're not wasting ingredients, and we share ingredients, and then we'll just leave with our meals for the week.
Yes.
Like a sign up and then.
Yeah.
Critical capacity. And then everybody-
Right.
And people go.
Like
and
we
do it.
share all the ingredients and then we, you know.
Well, then Kay will tell you with the farmer's market, certain farmer.
I was jumping at him.
Farmer's markets where you can buy bulk. Most of us are not gonna buy in that quantity, but if you're going in with a bunch of friends like that, then you can buy bulk at a much lower price point. Yes.
Or you can
and-
visit Elevate Farms and they have like produce and stuff.
Big farms. Yes, Kay, shout out. So you haven't mentioned like bread a lot, and I feel like a part of my breakfast every day is Dave's bread with avocado spread on top and 2 eggs with everything bagel seasoning. It's like my go-to, and a cup of fruit.
Breakfast is-
Really?
Without the egg.
So, and you haven't touched on bread a lot. I know bread obviously typically isn't great for you, but is Dave's bread bad for me? It has a lot of
Fresh-
seeds.
So. Is it, and Lori just left, but Lori started baking fresh sourdough, right? And Tim Spector actually talks a lot about that. And he talks about red wine too, and how red wine, good red wine, and that doesn't mean expensive. Good red wine is not bad for your gut. It actually can be helpful, right? So other alcohol, different story. But as far as bread too, fresh bread that goes bad within 3 days is a very different and made with good quality ingredients. Is a very different beast than the sliced stuff you buy off the shelf that's designed to last 2 to 3 weeks. It's not the same food.
Yeah.
So if you're making the choice, and it also depends, are you trying to lose weight, lean out, or you're just maintaining? That plays into it. How active are you, right? Because if you're pretty active and you have a slice of fresh bread for your breakfast, you're okay. And another thing too, we're all individuals. It is really key that you listen to your body. The cutting edge medicine, where is it going? It's going to an individualized medicine. What that means is that specifically for you, and that's where diet is going in that direction, right? Doing certain tests, seeing wearing a glucose meter that allows you to see what foods actually spike for you. And they had studies with twins where they showed that one twin would spike with Prosecco and not have a spike with bread, and the other twin was the opposite.
Is that gut bacteria? Is that their biome?
And also your individual makeup. So right there, right, most of us don't necessarily have the opportunity to run all those tests on ourselves, but we can still listen to our bodies. And if you're mostly eating healthy, so you're not getting the noise and the distractions of the junk, then you can start feeling a little bit more when your body's responding well to something and when it's not. Whether it's healthy or not, it doesn't matter if you're not responding well to it. If it's making you feel sluggish or you're feeling that heart race, right? Because for me, alcohol, I used to be able to drink more. I barely drink anymore. Why? Because I literally can feel it, how it speeds up my heart. And it makes me feel as if I had the same way that a piece of cake makes me feel. And it just doesn't feel worth it to me.
I think it'd be helpful to the group. If we were to get the kind of bread that you're talking about, we were to go buy it. Where do you buy yours? If you can't find it, what bread dough or flour do we need to order, or where do we get it from? Like, what is your just overall comments?
So there are a couple of good bakeries out here, and the Peachtree City Farmers Market, for example, they have a French baker that comes regularly there, and the bread is very fresh, right? So there are a couple of artisanal, not Publix, not Kroger Bakery, private businesses that will have really good bread even around here. There's a bakery
So,
here,
I don't know if they
but I
make
don't think
bread.
she makes bread, but she does make. And as far as dough, it really depends. I mean, I have clients who prefer almond flour,
Oh, yeah,
right?
yeah.
And Carly does a lot of baking, a lot of gluten-free, soy-free, sugar-free, etc. baking. So, with that said, it will depend on the person, but there are definitely better brands. Like if you were looking to make a recipe specifically, shoot me a text or an email and I will source certain things depending on what you eat and what don't eat as to what ingredients will be safe.
There's also, because you guys have both mentioned this, and I was not gonna say something, but I will. I have a friend who started her own bread company in California called AWG, and it's all organic, grain-free, paleo vegan. This bread is friggin' phenomenal
Oh, yeah?
for flavors. She ships nationwide.
What is it?
So-
AWG?
AWG. Yeah, so if you don't have the option, or you're out of town for the farmer's market or whatever, that is the best. I think the best next thing.
So my question is, so you're a baker and you use almond flour.
Yeah.
I switched over to Caspa flour, almond flour. I'm trying them all because I'm trying to avoid gluten.
Yeah,
Because like you said a minute ago, like I have been on the elimination diet since March of last year. And by resetting my biome, I feel everything that I eat so extremely that now I know very clearly what I want to stay away from, and gluten is high at the top of that list.
yeah.
Equal with dairy. Other than that, I feel pretty safe. Anyway, the farmer's market, or as I understand it, baking with good ingredients means that I might not have to avoid gluten. I just have to eat things that have good ingredients. But like that baker, I can't remember what she's called, but I know she's there every Saturday. How do I know what kind of, is she using whole grains or like, I just don't,
Ask her.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm saying though, like,
Yeah.
I guess
You
that's the question is like, you go into somewhere and you think, okay, I mean, I'm guilty, right? I'm so tired. I needed something. I bought this because I knew that it was gluten-free and dairy-free, but yeah, it's loaded with sugar. I need it at the moment, so it's keeping me level, but I know it's not good for me in the long run. But I feel better about eating it because it's eliminating some of the things that I'm trying to avoid anyway, right?
You
But
felt
like-
better until I walked in the room, right?
Yes.
Did I feel better?
Thank
Oh,
you so
yeah,
much.
right. I was like, oh, man, I didn't know he was coming this morning.
Thing to say, I'm just like listening. Don't beat yourself up about it because you did what you could with the resources that you had. Like you were coming here, you were stressed for time, whatever. Okay, now you have this presentation and now you have all these new resources to.
No, I
think ahead and-
appreciate that. That's important. It's very important for, I think, everybody to understand, like it, and I was that way, like when I started the elimination diet and I would slip or something would happen, I'd get really upset about it.
Yeah.
I'm like, it happens, you're allowed, like, just get back on track. It's,
Yeah.
like this, I'm on paternity leave and I have not been able to go to the gym for the last 2 weeks and I won't for the next 2 weeks. And it's making me crazy. And everyone's like, oh, just work out at home. I'm like, I can barely even tie my shoes at home, let alone do a workout.
Okay, well, here's another solution.
I know, but I literally, anyway, I'm having a really
10
hard time
minutes,
finding
10
10 minutes for myself. Like,
We'll talk.
yeah,
Hey, if you come over, listen. I walk out of my back door, cross the pool to the gym. And if you call me and say, Q, I got 10 PM, kids are sleeping, wife's sleeping, can I come
I'm
work out?
dead.
I'm like, yeah.
I am dead at 10 p.m. And then I'm up 3 hours later, and then I'm up 3 hours later, and then I'm up 3 hours later.
The fact that
and then
he's
it's
here
like-
once a week right now is like a big deal. So it's hard.
And I know it is temporary. I guess my point though was like, I'm not beating myself up about that. I'm not feeling like I've completely derailed. I cannot wait for my life to get back onto a regular routine where going to the gym is part of my daily routine. I'm excited about it. I'm not one of those that's like, oh, I messed up, forget it, it's all over. I actually got on the scale this morning for the first time in weeks, and the number was not as high as I thought. I was like, okay, that's reassuring. Like, I'm slipping and I'm still not.
Phase 3 and you
Yeah, right. I get to do it again when I get.
Yeah.
No, but it's the point about not stressing yourself out. I don't believe in shaming yourself and others. I believe in doing your best in every situation. Sometimes your best won't be as good as your next best, right?
Yeah.
Just keep trying for the best each time and be compassionate with yourself and others, because if nothing else, the more you stress yourself out, the more you shame yourself.
Yeah.
Guess what? That actually really damages your gut, because the gut-brain connection is a two-way street. So the more
That's what-
stressed and anxious and depressed you are, the worse your gut gets, and the worse your gut gets, the more you experience those.
Q posted something yesterday, maybe it was even today, and then Nora, you said something very similar earlier, but like work out because you love your body, not because you hate it.
Yeah.
And I feel like you said something very similar about
Have an
eating.
adversarial
Also, like,
relationship with the food.
Don't put the framework in your mind that you have to eat better because you're not happy with the way you are. Eat healthy because you appreciate and love your body and want it to be better and stronger.
That's a whole nother presentation, treating yourself like a
I know,
friend.
we're gonna.
Like, that's a whole
Yeah.
therapy, homie, like, it's a whole different ladder.
So true.
I actually had two, well, I wanted to ask you, but you kind of already answered that. So one was previously I was gonna add something for suggestion and support with a college student question. So working at a lot of colleges and attending a college here myself, for the room, any college student or parent can advocate to the kitchen to add and change the meal as well. Yes, it is actually asked of the students. So if you never speak up and you just give that same routine as, oh, college, mesh or whatever, oh, you just eat at the diner, you're really just leaving it up to the college to dictate the diet of the college students. But every college, whether it's private, university, has an actual nutrition department. They have nutrition head, top chefs, to where for any type of dietary need, you must advocate for yourself. It is illegal for them to just give you whatever you want. And 5 students standing up saying, hey, we want more veggies, or we want less burnt food, would make a world of difference. But a lot of times, in my experience going to college, I'm a graduate of Spelman College, so we were in the Atlanta University Center. So there's 5 colleges all together. And this was, I don't like saying it, 19 years ago. But 19 years ago, we didn't have the information we have now, and there's still the challenges of people assuming you're paying these prices for your students to go there and paying for that meal plan, you better get the food that you want your child to have. So I wanted to make sure to say that, and you can suggest someone like Nora showing up, because colleges are for that. It's the learning experience. But we as a culture, I believe, have gotten to this place to think that we can be dictated to, and we don't have a choice. That's just stating anything. So
My first challenge is Nora, my daughter.
but you as a parent, you are paying.
Yes.
So. But you as a parent, my mother, I'm from California as well, so my mother could call from California for anything, because you are paying, and especially, private colleges are different, but like Georgia State, bigger universities, they have more department heads. And you make those calls, and if you don't make those calls and offer solutions, just complaining is one thing,
But if you say, hey, I went to a presentation today, I believe that, cooking with Nora would be great. There's nothing, it's a phone call instead of those constant, trying to tell a hot-headed 17-year-old who's off to college, what to do for herself as the parent to say, hey, I made a call and I want Nora to be here. And I think this would be great if you and your dorm mates get together and do something there. I believe that'll be great for Nora to go into the dorms, and the colleges will look and say, oh, you guys want to have this, let's do something better. So that was a suggestion that I had. Second, you already touched on it, but I do want to include my personal experience with the gut brain spiritual aspect of nutrition that we all miss out on. And I appreciate you saying, just being vegan or meat eaters, it's so dichotomy, the black and white that we're always in, that my weight loss journey significantly changed high blood pressure on high blood pressure medication. I had a stroke diagnosed with depression and anxiety, all of these things, and blood pressure went down, all that. Before I even learned to eat better, was not being negative with myself. My cortisol levels, androgens going up because of stress. And so eating healthy, but stressing about it was counterproductive because I was still doing the things that made my gut hold on to everything. So all the veggies, I felt depleted because I'm going to the gym, I'm paying for a personal trainer, I'm doing all of those things, but I'm stressing out, not having the right nutritional value in the food. Made all of the things different, and just learning how to chill out, enjoy it, take a nap, have somebody else to do it, ask for help. I wanted to pinpoint those points helped me in the past years lose the weight and feel healthier or better about myself, to have the energy to, with the ladies laugh, but to even want to cook. Cause they'll tell you in a minute, like I'll come to your house and take over your kitchen all the time. Like, hey, cannot.
I've seen you exist.
Yeah. You cannot step into your own kitchen. I love the cooking, but the bringing the stress levels down allows me to do it. But if I'm stressing about it and feeling bad about it, and there's, steady stepping on the scale and counting numbers, it's like the doctor's like, well, your cortisol is up, your androgens are up, and now your gut is crazy.
Please don't count calories. Please don't count calories. The data shows that it's useless.
One more question.
Yes.
If I wanted you to look at my existing meal prep,
Mhm.
look at the resources that I have, like I have Sam's Club membership, and then help me, fix, add diversity, make it not such a slog to get through all this food, and then make sure that I'm like, because it's scale too, so like relatively affordable. How much would it cost for you to do that?
I'll just charge you an hourly rate
Okay,
for my time.
which is $300. I don't know.
It's a lot of dollars. Finish the question.
I was asking
50
$50 an hour.
Charge what?
Okay,
for that.
so 50 bucks,
For cooking classes, I do
so
100.
$50 an hour. So somewhere around, that means like you show up at Sam's Club and we go do a walkthrough in an hour, maybe. Okay, so like you can kind of, I'm trying to figure out like the cost. So like maybe with $500, I could fix.
Yes, you should.
I could fix my structure and my diet, and there'll be the amalgamation of all those books in your brain, all of your cooking knowledge, all of that stuff. For $500, I can fix my terrible diet. Okay, that's an extremely high value, because one surgery, one going to the doctor, like in terms of value, it's enormous.
Yep.
Okay, that's why I wanted to ask that question, because it sounds like you're bringing an enormous amount of value to bear. And just to speak to like the whole structure of 1 million cups, the value is there, but we're not parlaying it in the, like, I'm asking that question because for your presentation, I want to know, like, how am I gonna, rubber meets the road, how are we gonna fix this? And for $500, that's a steal, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And I prioritize fitness, like I'm at the gym 5 days a week.
$150 an hour, that would be $10.
I'm sorry, I missed it.
You haven't figured in your psychiatric care.
I don't want to talk about that in front of like people. Come on, homie. Like, let's talk about that.
talks all my friends off ledges.
Sure,
So that is that
So
another
part
habit
of the
where,
partnership that we have with the training and nutrition.
Yeah.
I'm certified in nutrition as well, and so I gave up that part because of the bodybuilding industry. Hey, can you write me a meal plan and show me how to do all these things? And I'm like, I can teach you how to eat healthy, but how about I don't teach any of this stuff? I just let her.
It's separate. It's so much.
Because one, she's better looking than me. So
you
that's
say that
separate.
today.
You say that.
It sounds. But he's gonna give a different perspective, you know, than I would, but it kind of mirrors because we talk about this, like you said, a lot of times I'll post something that she comes and says 2 hours later, she didn't even check my social media. But, you know, we've been preaching this message of the wellness, not just working out, not just eating healthy, not just the meditation part, all of them, you know? So when she was talking about a meditative experience with cooking, we do the same thing with the training, with the hiking, with everything that we do, because everything is connected, you know? So when you fix these things collectively, everything else goes.
The tide rises for everything else, yeah.
And being present is something that significantly diminishes your amount of stress.
I would like to be president at Thumbs Up right now.
I know, you gotta go.
You
But
have one
yes.
question about convenience at a supermarket. What are your thoughts about where people don't really buy broccoli anymore? They'll buy pre-cut bagged broccoli or beans that are already cooked or things of that nature. Because that sort of defeats the whole food.
Well, it's just cut, it's not processed, right? So from a budget standpoint, you're better off buying the whole head of broccoli.
Mhm.
From a convenience standpoint, it may be better for you to buy it pre-cut, right? I don't judge in that respect, right? It's if you have the budget and you don't have the time and it's more convenient for you to do that, that's fine by me. It's if that's gonna make it likely that you're gonna eat healthy versus doing a drive-through at Chick-fil-A, then I'm all for that convenience.
Right, instead of dried garbanzo beans, you have a can of garbanzo beans.
That's fine too. There are better cans, right? Low sodium or organic. We have a lot of choices these days and you can definitely rinse them and enjoy them.
And how about those salads that are already pre-washed?
So pre-washed salads are
Like
fine
for
too,
example, Fresh Express.
okay? So pre-washed salads are totally fine too, right?
And how do
Mixtures.
you think about how they clean it? Have you ever looked into that?
So, look, if you need to rewash them at home, right? And especially if you like to be super thorough, you can even use a little bit of vinegar, right? When you wash them, but it really is up to you. Like, you can carry it to almost 100%, or you can operate with a little bit more wiggle room depending on your personality, your budget, and your time. My one thing with pre-made salads is that the dressing is not always what it should be. And I have a lot of recipes that are super easy where you can make really healthy vinaigrettes yourself. And you don't have to rely on store-bought stuff that has a lot of preservatives and other chemicals in it. So you can buy the mixed lettuce, right, the spring mix, and then make your own dressing. And you can make a dressing that lasts 2 weeks, right? If it doesn't contain dairy or cream and things like that, a vinaigrette will last easily in a mason jar for 1 to 2 weeks.
So do you think it's healthy when they wash those salads with chlorine, with Clorox?
That's a whole other conversation on Clorox and how it's used in some of that. You're better off washing it yourself. Again, you're better off buying it from Kay's Elevated Farms than you are from the grocery store. There's nuance to all of that. If that's something that you're concerned about, and yes, if you're doing a lot of it, I would be concerned about it. But if it's
am
once
very
in a while, it's a different story. Then yes, take the time, and you can actually do it yourself. You can get a salad spinner, they're super cheap. Wash a whole bunch of your salads ahead of time yourself. Like when I get the salads from the different colors and salads that we have in our garden, I'll bring them inside, I'll wash them right away and dry them with the salad spinner, and then I have them in the fridge ready to use.
Yes.
So you can adopt that methodology yourself. You just spend one chunk of time get it done.
Yeah, large amounts of chlorox are used in that water,
Yeah.
added to the,
Mhm.
they use a large amounts of chlorine in that water to wash all those salads.
So you can
really
definitely do
bad.
it, yeah, you can definitely do it yourself at home and adopt that methodology without having to buy it pre-made. I know we need to go because I know we have a little appointments coming up and I actually have a client that I need to cook for.
Yeah.
One last thing.
Yes,
Jason said you were looking to get out of you prep the meals and deliver or pick up. Wanting to and being there are different things. And so therefore, how much do those pretty power salads that you had in your presentation?
And they are, when I say gorgeous, like the picture doesn't need to put in.
they're on average. Mason
Next month.
jars, depending on the type of a salad that I make, because I make the mason jar salads, just because it preserves them and keeps them with the dressing and everything, super easy to eat them. That way, or 17 to 20
Okay.
per jar. If they have steak, then they can go up to 22 to 25, but
But
that's
you
not
could
the
put
range.
salad dressing and lettuce in a jar and it doesn't go bad?
Yeah.
Yes,
She's magic.
you put moonshine in.
Don't
I
you?
actually.
All right. Corn related vegetable.
Good job.
Well,
Thank you so much.
round of applause. Thank you. We will be back here next Wednesday, 9 o'clock.
We have a local business, the Wig Doctor, who's going to be presenting to us.
Yeah.
Can't guarantee what room we'll be in. The Wig Doctor? Yep. So see you here next Wednesday.
Bye, guys.
Yeah, let's see what I-